Hello and welcome to Betfair's season preview of the Hawks. The Hawks are going to be an interesting team to watch in 2023. Are they going to improve or stagnate? They're a young list. They've got Sam Mitchell in his second year at the helm. Daz, what do you think of the Hawks in 2023?
Yeah, they kept the fire sale going in the off-season. They've made a habit of moving on star players that have finished their career elsewhere. Even their coach, Sam Mitchell, was one of those at West Coast, but Luke Hodge famously. But you can add Jack Gunston going to Brisbane to that list. Jager O'Meara at a third club. He'll go to Fremantle. Tom Mitchell to Collingwood as well, a Brownlow medalist. Liam Shields obviously goes out. Ben McAvoy retired, so a lot of experience. I think it's well over 1,000 games going out. But they get Carl Amon from Port. Lloyd Meeks a pretty good pickup as well. So some good inclusions to go with all of the veterans leaving.
Just want to add that there's no shortage of ruck depth at Hawthorn. I think Lloyd Meek is an incredible pickup, but they've got some good rucks at Hawks, so it's going to be interesting to see how they'll squeeze them all in, if they're going to squeeze them all in. I personally think that 2 ruckmen on a side at any given time is the absolute max, and you should always consider your tall forwards as well. So that's going to be an interesting proposition for Sam Mitchell, how he's going to balance that ruck star power. Or, potential star power. But Daz, let's talk about breakout players. Who did you think is going to have a breakout season in 2023?
You mentioned ruckman. Ned Reeves, I think, was pretty good late last year. Should be able to go to another level. I think he's one that will sort of relish a bit more responsibility in that side. But there's a few in the mix. Josh Ward, inside mid, is a good player. He played 14 games last year. He had 34 in a match, got a Rising Star nomination. I expect he'll only get better. And a player they've only just drafted, he was in St Kilda's academy, Cam McKenzie, was taken by Hawthorn in the first round. I think he can have a pretty big impact straight away, and he'll be a good player.
Yeah, certainly. And Hawthorn did draft very well this year. And looking forward to seeing some of those young players play. Best and fairest Smokey. Who are you thinking, Daz?
Yeah, it's probably not a hugely bold pick, but John Newcombe was runner-up last year, averaged 22.5 possessions. James Sicily won the best and fairest, but I think Newcombe, with the departures of Mitchell and O'Meara, clearly takes top billing in their midfield now. And it wouldn't surprise me, we spoke in our Port Adelaide preview, which you can watch, about Carl Amon and how good a wingman he was at his best. If he slots into that Hawthorn side, they play a bit of footy at the MCG where he gets a bit of space. He could be a good player for them. He's
certainly got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, Jai. I mean, Tom Mitchell comes out. Jai obviously had an incredible season last season in the early stages of his career. Do you think the responsibility might get to him? Because he's now going into season 2023 as arguably a top 3 player at Hawthorn.
Potentially, and I heard some comments in recent weeks about his future and a few other things sort of beyond the year as well. But yeah, I mean, that's always a step for a player. They have a breakout year, but then they get noticed more, they get more defensive attention from the opposition. How do they handle that? I think he'll be okay, but yeah, that's the challenge that players have got to avoid.
I think young players at Hawthorn profile really well for a Rising Star award, given that they're going to get so many opportunities. They're going to end up playing lots of games, hopefully without injury. That principle is coming into consideration in your betting strategy.
Definitely, as much as I think Will Ashcroft at Brisbane will follow in the footsteps of Nick Dacos at Collingwood and be very hard to beat for the award. I do like the guy I mentioned earlier, Cam McKenzie. At $14 is a sneaky chance he'd be 7th or 8th probably in the line of betting. But as you say, in a Hawthorn side where he's likely to get a lot of footy and play a lot of games, I think he's a really good chance. They lost nearly 1,200 games of experience, so those kids are going to get a look, and I think he'll play quite a bit of footy.
Well, looking forward to seeing the Hawks. Personally, I have no expectation on the Hawks. I didn't last year. I'm just looking forward to hopefully their kids getting better and improving week to week. Sam Mitchell's got a lot of work to do to discipline that team, but hopefully they can get a couple of wins on the board. That's all we had time for the season preview for the Hawthorn Football Club. For more season previews, head to the Betfair Hub.